welcome to the show. Bass and Bonsai, back in the house, not out on the water. So I figured it was time to do another little update talking about the video that was just a short little jerkbait sort of how-to, real kind of simple video. There you can make jerkbait fishing as complicated or as simple as you want to, but I thought I would talk about a few of the baits. Stuff I didn't talk about in the little on the water video, but we've got an unboxing, a couple packages from AliExpress. I got some stuff I did a little shopping today, so I'll talk about that also. But the first thing I should let you guys know is because we talked about this in, I believe it was Saturday night, I did a live stream, and we mislabeled this color. So I only own 2 of the 110+1 juniors. I need to get a few more colors, but I was kind of looking through. This is not Northern Secret. Everybody seems to think that that's Northern Secret, but it's not. Somebody's going to say it. It is actually Table Rock Special. It's got a little bit of chartreuse like up high, more of a clear side to GLX or whatever. Northern Secret's more of this purpley color all the way on one side, and then more of a kind of yellow belly. But almost the same colors, but just a lot more spread down the side on the Northern Secret. This is Table Rock Special. That's and I always pronounce it wrong. I kind of just started calling it E-Bone. They make like a Pro Bone blue, I think, without chartreuse, but almost identical here. And then for whatever reason, this is called Elgy Bone. A lot of people say Elgy Bone, but E-Bone. And those 2 colors I just had bought. I can't even remember. Maybe when I was at Cabela's. I can't remember now. I want to say I just got them at Cabela's. The good thing about it is the bigger baits are like $24.99 almost everywhere, and these are only $19.99. And I'd swear that I have better luck on this size and the +1 that gets a little deeper. In my opinion, it's a harder deal to find. In my opinion, the baits, the jerk baits that get a little deeper that actually work. If you're fishing, it's like there's just a shallower jerkbait bite going on. Now, my goodness, that sounds like that's insane how many ball bearings are in that box rolling around. But it just, in my opinion, that if the bite is shallow, it's a little easier on the jerkbait to get them. So we're going to go through my little jerkbait box real quick before we do the unboxing, because I'm going to probably also start weeding out some of these things and maybe adding. That's the thing, like you get out on the jerkbait bite. We weren't really on a true, what I call a jerk, one worth me staying on anyway. It was like dink, so I just kind of abandoned it after a while. Probably could have sat and caught them all day long if we would have just, kept going around. So before I jump into that, the video you watched, Charles was actually catching them on a shaky head with the Zinkers, but what we were basically doing is almost all the way around the bank, almost everywhere you went, about 5 foot out from the bank, and like on the steeper banks, you could throw something and catch the dinks. They were not out in the middle. They weren't up in the super, like nothing. You didn't see that footage yet anyway, but the real shallow, flat banks had nothing on them yet, like nothing. Like it's all like was dead zone. So I'm not even sure what the fish are doing. The temperature was 55 degrees. And then I actually I couldn't go real fast. Like if the slower I went, I actually did better. And that footage I left out when I make a couple more full videos of the day. I actually wanted to talk about there's more than one way to skin a cat and to fish a jerkbait. In that video, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It's just like a short 10-minute video. I kind of put it together for Brew Tank because Brew Tank and then a few other people acting like they don't have a lot of luck on jerk baits. And honestly, with this dude, it's easy for me to go out and catch fish on this bait. Now, catch big fish, that's a whole other story. But these littler jerk baits will just flat get the job done. Even like the normal size Vision 110, I don't know. I feel like you can go out there. If you see any fish around, like any activity, it's pretty easy to at least catch one on a jerk bait. Now, you may not, get on it like a bite with them, but I don't know. I've never really felt that I struggled with jerk bait, but I just kind of do what I do with it for a brief amount of time, then I move on. I don't really try to go find a jerkbait bite. I will try it when I'm trying other stuff. So I just wanted to kind of go through some of my baits, since there's never a wrong time to throw a jerkbait. Literally when they're all the way up, because bass don't all spawn at the exact same time. But if you're shallow running a jerkbait, and they've even got just came out the new Mega Bass shallow one, which I've had forever. This is my oldest jerkbait, and it is a Mega Bass. But that square bill one, I don't even know if they make those anymore. See how yellow it's turning? It is probably ready to break. Maybe not. I don't know. I think it's already cracked. I can't tell. Can you guys tell? Is that thing already cracked? Anyway, that at one time, and kind of still is, my favorite color. It's close to my Pop Max. But that little dude there has caught a bunch of fish with rusted up hooks and everything else. And I still have no issue. I bet you right now I could go out and catch fish with that right there. The letdowns were these, and I don't even remember what brand they were. But I had Norm Coulter paint these up, and they are different, I believe. Yeah, I can tell by so there are two different brands. If you can tell by the way the gill plate is, but these dudes just never, I mean, I've caught a few fish here and there on it, but never did perform that good. Then, of course, I've got some of these even smaller, little bitty, these are like knockoffs that, honestly, nothing in here of these I'm impressed with. I probably should clear them out. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if this is an actual, I think this may be a knockoff of like a Stacy 90 into LG bone. I can't even remember now. It may be an actual Stacy 90. I thought they said what they were on them, though. I can't tell. I like the color, but I'll be honest. I don't know why. Let me put this guy down for a minute. Here's all my like 110. They're like 110 knockoffs. That there's no one actual true 110s in there. They're either the RC sticks or they're there's another LG bone. I think Rogers, or I can't remember the name of it, but there's a brand that Rogers carries that are knockoffs. So I have awesome luck with this, the Junior Plus One. But all of these others that I've used, like this one, you didn't see the footage because it didn't catch anything. I threw that one Saturday also briefly, and it just sucked. I don't think I got to any of these others, but these bigger lipped, bigger baits, diving deep, I just never have had and these are some of these are Meredith from AliExpress. I've never had the luck with any of those type baits as compared to what I do with these. Now, at just random times, some of these they're designed a little different, but they're still more, they're not the deep runners, they're just a little bit bigger than like a Vision 110. At any given time, one of those may kick in, but honestly, I don't really like those. The only ones that I sort of kind of like, but they're not the time of year for them, these Re-Range 110. They got that crazy, these hooks are all over me. I just threw that one briefly, but I don't think it's time for, they kind of have a different deal where you need to throw them. I can't get it to make its noise, but they've got a crazy weight transfer system. Now this one I do like, but that's the Shimano World Minnow or whatever they call it. I've caught quite a few on this guy too. I still don't think it's as good. It's not as good as Mega Bass, but with the flash boost, as long as you get them to look at it, they do have a chance of attacking that. In my opinion, when the jerkbait bite is a little off, they may hit that over another one just because it looks like it's sitting there doing something. But usually, if you can tell, when there's a jerkbait bite on, it's actually hard not to catch fish with the jerkbait. And when it's like warmer weather, a lot of times you don't even have to, you just barely pause it and then go. So I'm not going to go through all these. All these are knockoffs. The only ones that I really, and I'll show you this one, I guess, because I think it's, oh my God, hang on. I have these all with bands on them, but this dude right here has caught quite a few fish. I'm not even sure what color that was or was supposed to imitate. That color's been okay. There was a time when these, I call them the clown. I just had real good luck with this, but like I don't really like to even throw a jerkbait once that water clarity gets very murky. But if you are going to throw a jerkbait in dirtier water, it's probably a color like this, like a white-sided one. So I'm tempted to slowly weed most of these back out, just keep true Mega Bass. And so when I was at Bass Pro Shops, and yeah, Bass Pro Shops, I saw the new, like, if you guys know what I'm talking about, Strike King's got the whole like Kevin Van Dam Elite range of baits now. They're like extra painted, you know, way fancier than all the other ones. But they've got an awesome, I think they call it 300, but the oyster color, I almost bought that bait. It was like $14.99. And then for like $9.99, they got the 200 in a kind of an oystery color. I almost bought that one just to try. I mean, right? I'm throwing it on the KVD jerkbait rod. But that may not be my actual rod I end up using, period. I just happened to try it out during that deal, so. Well, as far as I can tell, hang on. Get a drink of Diet Coke without Fireball. I couldn't really tell you for sure where the best place to get them is now, because I haven't bought jerkbait from AliExpress in probably 2 years. But the Meredith ones are the ones I kind of went with. As you can see, they all have Meredith on the thing. So I think almost every one of these knockoffs from AliExpress say Meredith on top. So just go, you know, type Meredith jerkbait, and if you find a picture of one, go scroll all the way to the right where it says find similar, and then just start looking. But I couldn't tell you the exact store. Most of these, and you guys know jerkbaits probably better than me on the different brands, because I'll be honest, I've only ever until I just started randomly picking ones off AliExpress, I either bought a couple different Mega Bass, or I went with the RC sticks at the time. There used to be, like, they were just common, like, almost everywhere. And, you know, basically, if you guys know that story, they completely copied, you know, were like the first replica of the Vision 110s. And so I've got RC sticks and then these Meredith baits, and I'll try to hold them up so you guys can see. And then Rogers just has some, they're like no-name brand ones, and I don't know if they're near as good. They look very close, but I think they changed something. So in the Meredith ones, I'll try to show you. There's 3 different styles, I think. 2 for sure, maybe 3. Let me separate them out here. So yeah, I think I got 3 of each, and just similar colors that I thought I might like. I tend to on jerkbaits, I kind of like that natural, you know, because I'm feeling whether it's real cold or it's hot, you know, I'm going to pull it, and then when I stop it, I want it to kind of have a little shimmer and, you know, look like scales flashing and all that. I want it to look kind of real. But I'll be honest, like, I don't know if that would look like a real fish or not. But these three are like different. They're shorter. So let me get my... So this is a perfect copy of a 110, right? So you can see that it's... they're just a little shorter and like stubbier than a Vision 110, whatever these three are. And then the other three... Ow. Put these down. I had these all organized, and then I never end up grabbing them. I always just throw those two in my day box and never make it this far. So these are bigger, I think. Yeah, these are a little bigger, and then they have this cupped, almost like a ball indentation on the lip. And they've all got the weight transfer. But when I was ordering, I thought I was getting like these two. If I had to do it over again, they're so close in colors, I should have picked a different color out. I mean, I think if one's going to work, the other one's going to work kind of deal. And then I got, this is more like a pro bone or whatever they called it. Well, I think if it had more white on the sides, but that should be a good color. But my confidence in all these baits is not as good as the one that is a true Mega Bass, and then the two Vision 110 Plus 1 Juniors. Those three baits have caught way more fish than all these other baits combined in the Mega Bass. I mean, there's a reason why Mega Bass sells theirs for $24, and they come out with a new color, and that new color like sells out. I mean, you got collectors and you got all kinds of stuff, but they flat out do work. Now, I don't know for sure, but I've always heard it's where it really matters is that cold. The colder the water, the more it makes a difference. So you want to kind of use a Mega Bass. But if you've got confidence in some other brand you've been using, you know, cold weather or whatever, that's fine. But then now, I can't remember, I heard what's his face talking about it, Matt Allen on Tactical Bass, and they make some other Shimano that he, I think, likes over this. I think it's a little smaller than the Vision 110. It's probably closer to the Plus 1 Juniors with that boost that he kind of likes. I don't know if I'm going to get one or anytime soon or whatever. But I was having pretty good luck in the summertime with these. These re-ranges, they're like, I don't know if you can see it. They kind of come in. They're almost like wider at the top than they are at the belly. So it just gives them a different action. That color is probably sort of like that Northern Secret you guys were talking about. And I forget the names of all these colors. I only remember the LG Bone or whatever because I always got it like way back when. I definitely had a Stacy 90. This may be a Stacy 90. But I always tried to make myself be able to fish these. I just, man, I don't know. Once that, if you see how much bigger that bill is. And now I've heard you want the little jerks, you want to be a little softer. Yeah, I'm live. What's up, Frank? And yes, Daryl, I'm alive. So let me put these back up. I'm going to do our little unboxing thing. But yeah, the KVD, the new whatevers, those look pretty legit. Now, I watched the video with KVD. These are going back in my day box. So I want to pick up a couple more of these. They've got the, I forget the name of it now. You guys know the one. You go to Tackle Warehouse, it's like the first one, top of the corner, and it's like you can't even back order or whatever. I want to get one of those for sure. And probably the Northern Secret. I want to get one of those, and then that'd probably be it. Four Vision 110 plus one juniors, and go with that. So if I ever do get out this season, if I get on where I feels like a little bit decent, bigger quality of fish jerkbait bite, I may start going through some of these other jerkbaits and seeing if there's any I like and want to keep, but slowly start thinning the herd there too. So I also did that on my square bills, but let's do the unboxing and then maybe I'll talk about that too. Let me move these two out of the way. So, put them back in my big box. Hang on. Hang on. Here we go. Let's do this AliExpress deal real quick. Because here's the deal. One of these has been forever to get here. And well, let's just open them up and you'll see it. These aren't baits. These are AliExpress stuff. Oh my goodness, this thing. Don't tell me they sent me one and that is not gold. You guys see that? That's orange. So anyway, they sent me this and it'll go all right. I need one set for my lose reel and then one set for my... what did they send me? There's supposed to be two of those. And that took over a month to get here. Never again. You won't hear me talking about that and where to order it, how to order it. But what I did order, and I never ordered the reel, and I may not order the reel. Ordered the drag clicker. I want to say this was only it was under $8. But I got a drag clicker for the, it's from China. It's not from China. That's how they're getting by those tariffs. There's a tariff on China, but not chined. So that's how they're going to do it, guys. Just in case you're wondering. So yeah, original chined. Model right hand. It's supposed to, I thought it would say right on it. This should fit our Shimano Metanium DC that we don't have because I never ordered one. And the prices only went up, and I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to get one now. I might not. I'd have to come across the deal. I don't want to spend that much money. If I spend that much money on that, I'll just probably get another Steez. I'll be honest. So this should be hopefully the part. So you get a spare clicker, you get the disc, and then you get the clicker that's already bent, and oh my god, why is that stuck to it? So then this supposedly should go down. You peel that, clean the gear of any grease. You make sure it's clean, peel that sticker, it sticks to the gear. Then you will put that, then you will put this, and that will go on the shaft. And then this is the pressure plate kind of thing. And then every once in a while, sometimes you got to shim it a little bit, depending. But then anyway, you get your clickety clicks from the drag clicker. It should be that simple, if this is the right one. I have no idea for sure. But it was cheap enough, and if I ever get it, and a lot of times you can adapt that to other reels. There's a few other reels that are very close, right? So anyway, we'll find out if and when I ever get one. But that dude is such a letdown because I ordered two. That is so ridiculous that that little thing took that long to get here. And it's not even, it was supposed to be gold. Like you can clearly, that's orange. Anyway, so I'll just talk about real quick what I got. I went to Walmart because I needed nothing to do with fishing, but I needed some pre-workout. And I picked these up. I'd spotted these, I don't know how long ago, and I was going to get one, man, and I'm like, finally, I'm like, and And I don't know why they're cheaper. Like at Walmart, they're only like $3.59 or something. They were pretty cheap. So I figured I'd at least just get them to try. Right? You can't have too many swim jigs. And you guys know that so far, bluegill's tending to be my favorite color. So, armed with VMC, it's Buckeye Lures swim jig. G-Man approved. I mean, it looks like a decent little deal for that price. Right? Stick well, something on it that kicks. I'll be honest, I'll probably put, what do you call it on it? The Rage Craw or something. Even though it's a bluegill colored. And then on this dude, I'll probably put a big swim bait. Here's what I want to start doing. I'll just start talking about what I've got new plans on my swim jigs because I'm going to have to figure out how to do it. And what sort of gave me the idea, I've been thinking about it for a while, but what I guess reminded me again of the idea. Oh, and so yeah, I was going to show you in case you guys want to track these down. 3/8 ounce bluegill. This color was the closest. This is my probably next favorite color other than spot remover. And certain brands, they just don't have what they call spot remover, but this is what they call natural shad. So they like have what gizzard shad, electric shad, and different stuff. But so anyway, yeah, that looks like it's just a bare head more or less. Put eyeballs in it. I mean, it looks good to me. Sharp hook. These weed guards are a little bit lighter, but you're not supposed to throw these like technically around wood. You just kind of, swim them around stuff, but not necessarily drop them down in holes and that kind of stuff. So the weed guard doesn't technically need to be as tough. They look, I don't know, they look, in my opinion, they look good. Look like they should work good, especially for that price. We're going to try them. We're going to give them a shot. Now, the other stuff is no real big deal, but, I almost bought some bubblegum pink TRDs, and I thought, well, instead of doing that, let's just get those. Because I'll probably end up cutting a few down to use like TRD. If you want to use it like a TRD, you just stretch the crap out of it, let most of the salt get out, and it is floats just like a TRD. In my opinion, it actually is better. So I will probably cut a few down to use on these baits. I almost bought a couple other pink trailer type materials to try, but I just hadn't. I couldn't make myself buy the. Have you guys ever heard of the Bass Pro's House, like little funky, long, extended swim bait deal? It's called Hoochie Coochie or whatever. They have that in like a pink and white. I almost bought a pack of those just to put on some of our smaller pinks. But I think that cut down just like what I did on Neo. And then the actual one that is truly, the normal chatterbaits we're used to using. Put one of those on, or just a white Baby Rage Menace. Try the both. We're just going to try the pink, right? And also the smaller ones, I'll probably get out my Morning Dawn and maybe make the little bitty worms and make some trailers with that. I'm anxious to just get this out on the water and see what it actually does. I'll try it both ways, with these on as a trailer or with the Baby Rage Menace. Probably on both those. Those are the two bigger ones. Those smaller ones, the little finesse dude, I'm still up in the air on figuring something out for them. But then, let me find the bait first. Every time I go out and fish, like every time I throw this bait out, I have caught bass with it. So I'm like, I need to just go ahead and just invest in a few more of those trailers for that bait. Because this little dude, those little, and you can do it with the Baby Jack, the Mini Max, or the Evo Mini Max, which is what this is. But those little I cut them down. I'll show you that in a second. But these little finesse shads, I think they're awesome little trailers for, especially these little 1/4 ounce ones, right? You kind of that more finessey look or whatever. But these little 4-inch finesse shads, I went ahead and got green pumpkin blue, and then meat dog. That's an awesome name, right? Meat dog. And then watermelon red, just to go with some of the other little ones. Now, what I did on this, I'll try to show you. You can tell I cut it down, you know, because it's still got the little belly opened up or whatever. So I cut it down from what it was. Now, you can also leave it, you know, if you think you want it sticking way out, but real cold day when I did that little testing, I did catch a bass on this one. I threw it Saturday, I believe it was, and it didn't take long. Caught a bass with it. So I think matching up, the downside to these shads is they don't really, there's only so many colors. They didn't have June bug. I'll probably pick up a June bug. And then I don't think they have any kind of like a black and blue, but like that, or they do have just green pumpkin, but the green pumpkin blue is kind of the darker of the bunch, but they're like $3.99 and you get 8. So almost on any other, and they're going to last forever because they're the, you know, Last Tech. But almost all these other ones are, you get 4 or 5, and they're like 5 something. I don't know. They're like $1 or so more. And I really think this is all you need are these little, you know, and you could leave it full size if you want to have a little length. But on these little 1/4 ounce ones, I think it's just a perfect little. Let me grab another one real quick. Where are they at? Where are they? Who is your daddy and what does he do? Oh my God. Let me just pull out a couple over here. Let's see what we got. And what I haven't, I don't know if that I don't remember ever trying it. Oh, Frank says he has a good collection of Megabass limited edition colors. Yeah, dude. I gotta stop watching the hookup tackle because did you guys see the Bonaire depth slide swim? Like, dude, the whole, like the set of the 4 whatever, like $400. Like, Jesus. I mean, you're saving a little money maybe in the long run, but no, that's just not for me. The thought that big 250 is what 160. I'm like, I don't know. The thought of losing that bait, that much money, just throwing it away that fast. I'm like, no. But the Megabass Vision 110, there's so many colors. Like if you aren't a collector, haven't been collecting them for years already, to get into that game, that's like a whole nother world. But so yeah, here's our little chatterbait box that is getting. We've already went through it. I've actually decided. So I went through my tackle box and I did away with one of my square bill boxes. So now we're going to end up, but I'm probably going to get a whole nother bigger tackle box. But if I don't, we're going to have 2 chatterbait boxes, right? So we're going to have, I'll spread them out. I'm going to, because like right now I've got my purple and my black and blue together. I've got some of these other colors together. So I'll spread it out between 2 boxes instead of 1. But anyway, we got this dude that does that with that. And I was going to try to track down my other ones here. So like this, you can do a few things. You can use those razor, where was that at? And out of all those, I still think that I like, if I'm going to get something like that, rather than where'd Meat Dog? Meat Dog, where'd you go? Hang on, let me get a better one. That one almost looks like it's been kinked up or something. So yeah, in my opinion, if you're gonna get like those, I would rather just go either like pintail completely like this, or with the bigger one, but you only get 4. And it's real simple. You just cut down the body and everything else, which I've done it with all kinds of stuff. I did it with the the kamikaze swim on. That's what I'm going to do with those. Like, I don't think you want that much body, but the I mean, you can do it whichever way you want, but like this guy, the bluegill color, you could literally go with like something like this and see how it just needs that body cut down, even though this is the smaller one. Like, look how much bulk there is on that, and 3.5 inch one. But then if you're just wanting more subtle and you don't want all that color, you go more subtle with something like that, or you go green pumpkin like that and add it to it. Same thing with not this dude. That pink one is roughly the same size as what the mini maxes are. That one pink one I ordered. I did cut it down. It's a little bait, but it had crazy long skirting, if you guys remember right, and it's still a little, it's closer, but it was like, it just made it look like it was this big bait, but it's not a very big bait. Pinky, maybe he's going somewhere else. So like this guy's a perfect example, that Alabama bream that everybody seems to be liking getting now. You could, and then there's hot snakes. So you could go bright and add the same color that's on the, you know what I mean? When you have these multiple colors, you can do a lot with them. You can put a bait on just to give it some profile, tone it down, so to speak, or you could go brighter, but they don't really make that many bright ones. So another bait that I already have, wherever they're at. Where did it go? Where did it go? Let me find it. Because they do make this in like copper truce and stuff. This is another option, the smaller. So like in these, they only make them in 4-inch, and that's what you would want to get anyway. But then they make these other Z-Mans, like the 3.5, the 4.2 or 4.5 is actually, in my opinion, too big for the mini maxes. But you could put that guy on. You just want something to give it a little bit of body, but lets it stay free. In my opinion, like even that guy there's just a lot there for these littler baits, the 1/4 ounce baits. It doesn't make a huge difference when you take that little blade and you run 3/8 or 1/2 ounce. You're not going to get much. You're not going to get much of that jumping around and hunting action. It's a good bait because it'll get a little deeper. You can go faster and stay kind of deep. But the whole point of what I like to do with them is to get them to jump around. Be reeling them kind of slow and then pop them and twitch them, and they. It's better to do, in my opinion, with the 1/4 ounce minis, 3/8 ounce regular size, and I still haven't really figured out exactly which size I like the big blade. But then the 1/2 ounce will still do it, like the 1/2 ounce. And I think I heard somebody, I can't remember who I heard talking about it. The 3/8 ounce, I still think the 1/4 is the best in the mini max or the minis of any kind. But then the 3/8 would be the other one that you probably like. If you like 1/2 ounce chatterbaits, you probably want 3/8 ounce minis in the jackhammer, in the Evo Mini Max, in the originals, whatever. If that's your main one you like to throw, that's probably what you need. But I actually like to throw 3/8 in the regular. I like these 1/4s. I'm going to get probably. I put those in the wrong spot. I'll probably end up maybe one. I'm not buying any more. Like, I'm done buying chatterbaits for a while. But come this whatever Black Friday coming up months from now, or at some point if these things go on sale, Evos, the Evo Mini Max kind of deal. I may stock up on some other, probably no more colors than what I have now, but a few different like weight sizes kind of thing. If they get down to like that 695 or something, because I do like a lot of these colors. Like this is a good color. I still don't own a spot remover in those, but I don't really need the spot remover because I've got them in the. I got a 1/2 ounce and a couple. I've got the original jackhammer one, but then I've got 2 or 3 in the whatchamacallit. So basically the colors I can't get with these knockoffs, I plan on getting when they come on sale. I'm done buying though, and I'm not going that way. That's what I've seen a lot of people talking about, well, everybody's asking my opinion on, and I won't say that they're truly sponsored, but the sponsor type people that are always pushing, baits, they will tell you, oh, well, the jackhammer does this better than the mini or whatever. And it's like, dude, I don't care what you think it does better. It's $6 more, and it is not going to do anything better than what the Mini Max or the Mini Evo will do. Now, if you want a certain color, I understand that because the hook size really don't matter. I mean, it may change or have a little bit, but I've never worried about that. The blade to the head size and then the overall bait profile is what will, regulate what your chatterbait is doing or is capable of doing. You get these bigger, and they work, they still work. I mean, you can catch fish on them and all that, but you get the bigger 5/8, 3/4, original size. They're going to like get down and be deeper and you can work them faster kind of thing, but they're not going to have the jumping around ability as like what a 3/8 does, or like what a 1/2 ounce loses some, then a 5/8 or 3/4 loses even that much more. Now they still will jump and do whatever, but they just won't quite do like what the other ones will. Same thing with the minis. You get a 1/4 ounce, you can do what I call that, holding it up in the water column a little higher, with the bigger full-size skirt. And if you really wanted to, now you're going to lose the jumping around, but you could always put like a more bigger swim bait tail or crawl trailer, and it'll even let it, create more thing and hold it right even higher in the water column, but it's less likely to jump around. So I think the best of both worlds is be minis at a 1/4 with tails just kind of small of some sort. And then if you're going to go with 3/8, then you probably might want to just go ahead and get something that has its own little action to it, or a profile like maybe a cut down version of some other, creature craw or whatever. So yeah, I got these baits. I will be utilizing those on the small ones. I haven't really been paid attention. Let's look at one of those. Meat Dog, where'd you go? Oh my God. Come here. Baits are getting flung all over the place. Where did this dude come from? Where did that bait come from? He just like miraculously popped out of thin air. Did you guys see where that bait popped out of from? That's a good looking bait. You have not been down there the whole time on the ground. Could have been out fishing you. I remember buying it now that I see it. Remember the ones that have that's actually stamped in the head? That's a good little bait. You do not own chatterbaits. I don't know where that bait's been. All right. Anyway, did I put the Meat Dog back up? I want to look at one more thing, and then we're going to do something different. Let me hang on. I don't want to look at Meat Dog. I'm going to mix some of these together just to, instead of bringing all these Z-Man packages, I'm still working on it, but I'm going to work on having less bags of plastic too. So I just was curious if I got, well, you could do it with this. So here is like the knockoff Be Hot Height Delight. 3/8 ounce. You could leave it full profile, rigged up on the 3/8 and just have that kicking. I might try. Like, this is a clear water type deal. I don't know when, and where I'll ever get to that, but then the that color, not so much for this bait. Like this color, the true green pumpkin, if you're looking for that more, wherever he's at. So like all of the whole bait is a just green pumpkin with that little bit of blue fleck. But I think it'll also be good for these I can put that on the mini maxes for dark, and then if I wanted to add a little flare to the bait. And I still think this skirt, this is a brand new, and I haven't cut the skirt down on it. See how far the skirt hangs past the hook? I think that's way too much skirt. Like, these are meant to be small and compact, really, right? So I will chop that down at some point, kind of like I did with this one. There's, see how much, a lot different. But yeah, if you want to go with something like that, probably not on the bluegills, but you can get, I got to check and see how many different colors, the options they got in that. They have some kind of pink, I forget what it's called. I almost bought one of those just for these other pink baits. So yeah, don't worry, I'll put all that up. I am very, that is weird. I don't know where that bait came from. I'm serious, I don't know. I just looked down and there it was on the floor. Surely it's not been there the whole time. That bait just needs to get out and get some action. Another reason why I'm going to get a bigger tackle box so I keep track of all my baits in the first place. This is not a swim jig. This is a swim jig. See the difference? Man, you can swim all of them. So anybody else got any comments before I end this video? Any questions? You buy the mini guidepost AliExpress glides? I'm not sure what you mean by the mini glide posts. If you're talking about these dudes, that dude is still, I've yet to really get these out and actually try them. Too many situations. So yeah, I'm going to clean my mess up. Be paying attention or watching for, I'm going to come out with a video. I'm still editing, but I wanted to talk about when I get around to it. Well, you know what? Let's make this a full hour. I want to talk real quick about this combo and the fact about a few of the lose reel type deals. So if you just watched that video today, I originally bought this rod, nothing to do with, I didn't want to throw a jerkbait with it, right? It is KVD's jerkbait rod. Well, it's this. Hang on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Daisy. My God. Yeah, jerkbait, 6'10". I was going to try to turn it where we can see everything right side up. So you see I'm also trying to use it for spinner baits, but 6'10", medium heavy, 1225 lure, 3/8 to 3/4, right? And it just by the specs, you're like, how in the world is it good at throwing like those little Vision 110+1 juniors and working like as a jerkbait? But it does, and it works pretty good. The reel is also works very good. It's not really an issue, but I just thought I would point out, while I was out fishing all day Saturday, I only had 2 backlashes. And both of them, I threw into the wind and I had like a backlash. And both of them were on loose reels. So I had one, and it wasn't like anything major, but I had one on this guy, and they're both this style frame. So this guy and then the Elite TI. And it wasn't like anything. It took forever to pick out. It just like, oh God. And then, you know, more like an overrun, not really a backlash. But I was throwing almost every other one, and all the other ones are like Daiwa reels, into the wind, back, you know, the other way, back and forth, and I didn't have any issues with my Daiwa reel. So I just thought I would throw that out there for all you losers. But the orange reel is one I really like of the lose. The Elite TI I do like, but I don't, for the price, I think the orange one's probably the one to get. When I was up at Bass Pro, also, I did look, they do have the custom up there. It's the first time I've seen one, not the custom pro. Let me talk about that real quick. Now there's videos all over out there showing you. I'm sure some of you probably already know. But the custom pro is what. Look, how'd you guys get so dirty? Oh, we drove on gravel roads. So hang on. I can't. We got to dust her off. Give me a second here. All right. So this reel I like, $279, and it has the braking, right? Paramag or whatever. So, and it's got this just like a Daiwa. This Custom Pro, same frame as the Custom. The Custom's black and then the little silver pieces here. The spool though is fixed. The inductor thing is just like molded. It's like it's actually like part of the spool. It's just, you know, when they milled it down or whatever, they milled it to where it fits inside of here. There's no, you know, dynamic. It's just there, like that basically. And then you adjust your brakes to that. I, you know, just was looking at it at Bass Pro. I have no idea what it casts like. But just the thought of that, even though, you know, it's $179, it's $279, it's $100 difference. But just what I know this compared to sticking all the way out and there's no deal, I won't be buying that reel. If it had some sort of other, like, I'll be honest, there's right next to it, it's $179 for $189 is the mock jacked or whatever, you know what I'm talking about, that reel. And I'm like, that one's got the cheap braking I like, to where it has the like mag track style with the centrifugal. So it's basically like taking pretty much a Abu Garcia and a Shimano mixed hybrid, right? Which that's what Abu Garcia has been doing for a long time. And Bass Pro, a lot of their reels have that, but those I feel the old black, is it the Black Max? Or I don't know. Doesn't take a very expensive reel to come. Some of them start coming with that. Like I want to say some of the Abu Garcia Revos were like that, and they probably still are. But in my opinion, if you go away from like just the Shimano brakes or the Daiwa brakes, that MagTrack style is the preferred one with the centrifugal also. The dual, what I call the dual braking, is actually, in my opinion, it's about just as good. Once you get those things set up right, they will fling baits out also, and you can still kind of make your little lightweight pitches and skips and whatever you want to do. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring up the fact that thing is, you know, the lose. Now, I could easily just, like, what do you have to do to fix that? No problem. Just click your little, you know, if you don't want it to backlash in the wind, go from 3 to 3.5 or whatever. But it wasn't that big an issue. But if you guys remember, I went through the other day and we kind of looked at them all, and they're all like pretty much set on 3. But let me talk about one last thing and then I'm out of here. So, although I just got I'm talking about two things. The rod and reel combo that I don't like for jerkbaits 100% is the Elite TI. The handle is too big, and I think that's part of why I like the. I do like that lose. But so, man, this thing's dirty too. This dude right here, I wasn't even planning on doing it. You see that spool is pretty much full. It might have could have held another crank or so, but you can't put a lot more line on there. It's 20-pound braid. And I didn't really even intend to, but man, I spooled that thing. I was like, and it was a 3/4 ounce rattle trap. And yes, I was going with the wind. But here's the thing. I completely spooled. It was like easy to just doing, you know, and it stopped. And I was like, holy cow. But I was throwing into the wind, you know, didn't change the setting, and I can throw into the wind with no issues either. So at that, I believe it's set at 5. So at that setting, this thing is it's like a beast. It cast this Poison Adrena 611 medium plus with that Steez SVTW. It was game on. I like it. That combo was working good. I don't like it for really jerk baits, and I definitely don't like the Elite TI for jerk baits. So it's kind of at a toss up between, which I wouldn't even think it would be a toss up. So I got to get a reel for this dude. But it's kind of a toss-up between these two, right? Now my KVD jerkbait rod from Lew's and my X-Pride 610. Well, let's show you where does it say it on this side. Well, I got it covered up. But that is the 610 meat. There it is. Oh my God. So yeah, between that and I'll be honest, I think I'm starting to like this one better. Well, you got to be shitting me. This camera tonight being a nightmare. But I think I like it because it's got a shorter, that handle is short. And I've got an extension on. I need to just get that off there. But that thing, I can like whip it around, you know, cast with my right, switch to my left. I can jerk. I can do this and that. And I've talked about it before, that wing grip material, how easy. And then this is soft touch. This rod is actually for a $100 rod. There was only 189 new, and I got it cleared out for 100. That's starting to become, it's nowhere near my favorite, but it's starting to become a very good rod for like a multi, you know, the jerk baits, I don't know about spinner baits, but yeah, like, well, spinner baits, rattle trap. It's just a good, it's one of those good all around rods for those, like, you know, 3/8 and ½ ounce baits. It just throws all kinds of stuff. I need to throw chatterbaits on it, just see what I think of it for chatterbaits. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to get out of here. I just thought I'd give you guys a little heads up. Oh, man, I got a mess. What did I even do with those? Heads up on the jerk baits and pink stuff that we're going to be jacking around with, trying. And I'm not even going to get these out right now, but they're crazy salted, bubblegum pink. And they also have just like the little grubs at Bass Pro, kind of for walleye or crappie, and like a 3 or 4 inch that are like actually pink and white, would match up real good. I thought about buying a pack of those and trying to, but we're going to go first here and just see how these even work at all. I don't know if I'm even going to try and mess with these dudes, period, and all those wobbly deals. Ooh, wait a minute. I almost forgot. The best part about it all is 2 things. I've got some other trailers coming from Tackle Warehouse. I've got some of the swim-ons and some of my favorite colors that I'm going to like, and a couple different colors of the Komodo Junior from Gambler. But then I also have 4. So they were clearing out some of that certain color cross-eyed chatterbait. So I've got 4 of those coming. It's only $18 for 4. So I got 4 of those coming. And I'm going to reconfigure skirts, maybe even paint some of the heads, and probably leave one alone. The other three are going to get, probably one's going to be turned into bluegill, ain't gonna lie. And then I started searching today so I could talk about it, maybe try to find a picture to maybe post on like one of these kind of lives and talk about it, like here's what it looked like. But I found one on eBay. So you guys heard me talking about not this frog, but back in the day, Z-Man had the chatterbait frogs. They called them chatter frogs. I know, genius, right? So I put chatter and frog together, and it started bringing up stuff. And you could search it either way too if you want to look at pics or whatever. And there's still some being sold on eBay. But the chatter frog was a thing. So the head was shaped similar, like a frog. It had the eyes sticking up. It's got these Elastec type, legs. You came with like 2 sets, I think, of legs that went on, and the skirts were like in leopard frog, different colors. And I remember that was actually a good working chatterbait. I remember I had several different, I don't know, 3 to 5 different ones over the period of time that they had them out. But I started searching. I was like, I'm just going to search on eBay. And I went to eBay, and for like $11.95, the leopard one popped up. And I'm like, I'm just buying it. So I don't know when, but it'll come in, and it's still new in the package, but we're going to unbox it, and we're going to unpackage it, and we're going to fish it. I'm not a collector, so I won't be collecting. I don't even know what it would be worth. 100 years from now, it'd probably be worth $25.95. Now they're on eBay. Some guys are trying to sell them for $29.95 and all that kind of stuff, but I figured, what the heck? One-time deal, pick up one of those, just for those of you that weren't fishing whenever those were out. I can't really remember of too many other kind of the Z-Man originals. I know there's a few different ones, but I remember those frogs because they were kind of, I won't say unique, but back for then. Now, like everybody and their brothers, there's some kind of chatterbait, there's some kind of deal. But I remember when those came out, I was like, oh, those are cool. And I believe they have a bigger profile. We'll see when we get it in, but yeah, they just have a little bit bigger with the legs and all. They're like a little bit bigger profile. So anyway, that is coming down the pipeline. Be looking out for that, and hopefully be looking forward to seeing those. If you haven't seen it, just Google search it yourself, or if you want to spend the money, I don't even know what you can find them for. I found, I think, the only one for like $11. So I jumped on it, bought it, and it should be coming. And it looked like a legit seller that has like 1,000 or better sales and like 100% feedback. So anyway, hopefully, I was kind of in a hurry, but I don't think I'm going to get scammed. This is still funny that this bait popped up. I know you guys are like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm telling you, I don't know how long it's been sitting down there and why I didn't see it before. This bait stuck and flipped off and landed, and it was literally sitting on this bait that I don't know why I didn't see it. It's a miracle. I can tell you right now, you know what bait I should throw the very next time I hit the water? What trailer would you guys put? Look at this. It's like it's meant to be. This is just sitting like right there. I had taken it off. This was on one of our that we'd made to try to be weedless chatterbait. That's not working so good. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this color or not, the Big Bite Baits. But I know for 100% fact that I like that color. I don't know if I like the rodent, and I cut it down a little bit already. It may be perfect. It's either going to get this, or it's going to get, you guys know the deal. It's going to get that or one of these. So you know what? It could get it could also get the money. Where's that dude at? Hang on, I got it here somewhere. Let's just take a gander at what he's going to get. Oh yeah, I'm not buying any more of these, just in case you guys are wondering. So this bait and this one Look at that color. This guy will probably get, I don't know. Something tells me, like it's in the cards. Put that on that, and then put maybe one of the, I'm not buying any more of these, but I'm going to use the ones, I've got quite a few. Or this dude from Yum. Something to give it a lot of kick when it goes. I bet you that would look pretty good, wouldn't it? That's that Cooter Brown color. Oh yeah, Cooter. I think that would go all right. I want my swim baits. I'm gonna work on. I want my swim baits to have a lot of kick. But before I talk about that, these I was having literally the tails pinchers ripped off. I think I lost 2. But then I also did lose, like, so you guys saw it, and if you watched the jerkbait video, there it was Dinksville, and they were destroying my claws, and then even one of these guys got ripped off, and I'm like, man. But that's what I've talked about before. That's why I kind of like to try to keep my jigs and my chatterbait, like I keep everything. I want it like an inch and a half the most. Every time, everywhere, these waters here around in the Midwest, you go out fishing with that, you know, because I'm just going to go off of what like Matt Allen talks about, how he likes a 5.5 inch. I started to say spark shad, not the 5-inch spark shad. That's a mega bass deal, but spunk shad or whatever. But you know what I'm talking about for the trailer. Like, dude, you get something out that far, you're never going to catch fish. They're ripping the tail ends off. You got to kind of get it a little more compact, in my opinion. But these, I think, are just going to wear too fast, and I'll find a use. I've got what I give like $3 for 24, so I got like 50 of these. Well, I probably got like 45 now to get a use for. But here's my favorite craw still is those, and I'm going to get a couple different colors. But I also have the big, the net base, a couple different pocket chunks and different stuff to use. But I think this, I like the way it kicks too. And you guys let me know if you've used the, they also have some on AliExpress, but the rabbit ear things from 13 Fishing. I remember Gene Jensen talking about years ago when he first found that little trick that, I forget what he was, it looked like a worm with the tails on it. And he said, man, it makes an excellent, you know, chatterbait trailer. But AliExpress now has a, and it's something, the reason I brought it to mind was because of this. Is similar, like it just comes up and then they're kind of flat one way and then they turn the bulkiness, and so they just flap around. But I'm going to try. And another thing that gave me the idea, if you guys, the Live Target, how their little minnows are out now, like the 3.3s, the 3/8s, and the whatever, and they got that crazy tail on the back. I want to try to, Mark Zona is who I was watching, talked about doing it with the, whatever, the Strike Kings version of their swim baits. But, and what gave me the idea also, there's a few things to how I get my ideas. So if you guys remember right, you can get the, oh shoot, I can't even think of the name of the bait now, but it's a swim bait that they made it basically the smaller swim bait, but with the big swim bait tail. And that's what I want to try to do with my swim jigs. I want, you know, a chatterbait and a spinnerbait, a bladed jig. A spinnerbait is a bladed jig, so to speak. All of the movement comes from there. That and I almost bought a couple, but they're $10 each. That bait that what he name was doing on Hookup Tackle. It's got that flat nose to it. Oh, I forget the name of that bait. I was just watching a video today. But I want, instead of trying to get movement and action out of the blades up here or an underspin or whatever, I want the drag from the behind to be what's, you know, creating the bait. Like just, you know, I know a swim bait, if you get the right ones or whatever, may get it to go. But I want that bulky swim bait. So I want to take a bigger swim bait that is technically not supposed to be used, and then shorten it up and round it off or whatever. So you know, I'm not going to have it, I'm not going to just hook it on like this and have it hanging way back there. And I may even want a bigger tail, just search around and find basically something back there and, you know, shorten it up. So it's a short stubby, but with a big tail about an inch, inch and a half behind the swim jig that's just creating a lot of stuff, or big claws. So the thing is though, I don't want it to look like a crawdad. So one thing that comes to mind, and I probably had one out somewhere if I would have looked hard enough, is a, do I have one out? No, I don't see one. Is like a spicy beaver, right? Or something like that. Something with a lot of kick. So when I, you know, that's just making the bait move, you know, giving it a little thump, which these do on a, if you guys remember, I always talked about my, oh shoot, the Daiwa Tatula with the solid tip. When I had one of those on like a shaky head, man, I could feel that thing coming back to the boat. Like just the way it was just it on a shaky head and it was kicking. So I'm going to find, I'm working on it. I got to find something that'll work. I don't think I have anything. Like even a key tech, crazy flapper, they flap kind of like crazy, but they're not really a, they're not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I want to feel the thump. I may have to just put a whatchamacallit on it. Bring a chatterbait on from behind like they did with the, if you guys remember what I'm talking about, like they did with the, the Hellraiser. So here's the bait I'm talking about. So I sort of did it a couple years ago, if you remember right. Me and Charles got on a bite with this dude. This is a big bait, but I cut that dude down and then had that rigged up, and then I even had to cut the tail down a little bit. But you get what I'm talking about here. So if you're looking at this compared to, you know, see how much smaller and compact. So I'm wanting this little short, stubby, you know, not real big around, but then when I put that on a bait, let's just get one out. So if I put that on something like this, you know, I get that kick also. Even, and, you know, may work on a chatterbait. You get this back there, you know, just it's just a bulky, compact thing. But the main idea will be like, so think of this in a bigger, basically even a bigger version shrunk down to on one of those to where it's just a little tail back behind. And I'm sure somebody's probably like, dude, so-and-so makes that. And I just haven't really been paying attention to some of the oddball stuff that's out there. But this one is not, yeah, like maybe before, I don't even know what I did with the original. Hang on, I got an idea. Where is the original one of those at? I got so much stuff that trying to keep track of it is a nightmare. I gotta put tracking device on everything. I have no idea where those are. Where? I don't even know where my whatchamacallits are. Oh, well, here's these. Oh, those are 4-inch. Those won't work. So let's look at, hang on. So let's just use these for example. Now, I don't want to have to spend the money. What I'm trying to say is I want to be able to find them cheap. But so, I mean, like, look at this dude. You guys all, this isn't that huge one, but like something like that. Rounded off to where it's this huge tail. Let me try to show you what I'm talking about. I might have to try that. I don't even know where this bait came from. I want to say I bought a rod and reel combo, and the kid I bought it from had that bait on it, and I just took it off, and I've thrown it. I think I've caught a fish or two with it, and I just threw it in the box, and I just haven't used it. I seriously think that's what that is, because I don't ever remember buying it, or I don't know. So anyway, that option, or these baits, which kind of suck, I could cut those down and round them off and make like a boot, right? Trim that up and have this big tail back there, just because these were let down compared to the, well, compared to this guy for sure. This guy, but then we got this color guy now. These things are awesome. The Spark Shads 5-inch, and they even work like a poop bait when you spin them around after they get eaten up. They just work. So I won't be cutting any of those tails off because that's $10 for what, 4 of them or whatever it is. But awesome bait. The one that was a letdown has so far been these guys that I've got. I don't know. Got a few of them around. So I may do that to at least one of them just to get that. I may do it with this guy right here. So I may take him and then take this bait and do a little. So probably like, yeah, something about 1.5 inches. And just get that bigger, crazy big tail out there cutting. I would think I could feel that thumping. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm going to leave it out. This, just food for thought. I'm going to leave all this just like it is. Definitely not going fishing tomorrow. Probably going to eat at the new Chipotle. We got a Chipotle open up just up the street. I'm going to get fat. I know it. I just know it. I'm going to be fat before this is all said and done. No need to Uber. The Chipotle is just up the road now. If good thing Quick Trip's on the opposite side of the highway, or I'd be over with. Fireball and Chipotle and easy access on the same side of the highway is just not going to be good. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I would like to thank you guys for watching and joining in. For those of you, the few of you, the brave, and the few that commented. And feel free to comment at any time and drop comments after this is just a video, not a live stream. I can't even remember the brand name of these, but they look okay. Did I tell you guys that story? One of the places where I drop off at, they're working on a boat. And I just saw I'm nosy. I'm like, go up and I glance, and this dude, like literally his boat front, up on the deck just has an area that looked like this. And he had one of these, I don't remember the color. I think the other color I got over there, like an IU or something looking color, just laying there. I picked up. I'm like, that looks pretty good. What makes that? And so I tracked it down. And then once I got this one, I went ahead and got the Mega Bass. And when I've kind of put them head to head, this one isn't bad. Like you just out there swimming. But that Mega Bass, like you let it has this, like as it sinks down, it's kind of swims down, and then I don't know. It's a whole nother level compared to this one. And I was gonna try to I'm looking, what is it about it that's different? And I was gonna try to make these to where they would work as good, but they're really not that big of a price difference. You just get the Mega Bass. They're not that expensive, and fish them. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Get out, go bass and bonsai, but whatever you do, 0Z2. And have fun doing it. I'll see you later.